This video has been funded in part by the Guild via Patreon. Check out the links in the description or at the end of this video for more details. Game provided by East Asia Soft.
Hello everybody, my name is Chris Gildart, and welcome back to another Pros vs. Cons mini-review. It has been a long time since I've been deep into fighting games. Before Muso and hack-and-slash style games, arcade fighters were my go-to. One of my very first fighting game experiences was with Tekken 2. I remember being so good at it as a kid that I would only play on the hardest difficulty. Now I can barely play on normal. But I followed this love to experience the likes of Soul Calibur, Bloody Roar, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Dead or Alive, and yes, I even played Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament back in the day without ever watching the anime. So why am I bringing all this up, I hear you asking? Well, I have been given the opportunity to restart that fighting game love thanks to a review code for Omen of Sorrow, a 3D one-on-one fighting game developed by A1 Games and published by East Asia Soft. This game originally came out on PC and PS4 and has finally made its way to Xbox. So how is Omen of Sorrows? Well, before we get into that, don't forget to give this video a like, comment with your thoughts below, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, it's time to find out if this is going to rekindle my love for fighting games. And I even have a fight stick to take this game on. Alright, ready, set, pros. Alright, first off, let's talk about how this game looks. I love the character and stage design a lot. I did a bit of research and found out that the developer A1 Games debuted with Omen of Sorrow. That fact alone makes it that much more impressive with how this game looks. Every character is pretty well designed to perfection. They all look so unique amongst each other, which is nice to see with a new IP from a new developer. The outfit design is on point too. I love characters like Erzabet, Talissa, and Arctorius, but they all look damn good. And the characters standing among the stages just fits so perfectly. This super edgy gothic atmosphere is exactly what my inner angsty teen wants. Speaking of looking damn good, the special moves in this game bring that splash of flair that you might feel is lacking in most indie fighters. Dynamic camera angles and well choreographed sequences bless this game's specials. I found myself jumping into the command list of every new character, not only so I could know the moves they had at their disposal so that I could properly kick some ass, but so I could know how to execute the specialist of special attacks so I could properly kick ass in style. When you look at these command lists, you'll notice it looks pretty simple, but understanding the mechanics at play will be difficult to master. The basic attacks are a mix of Tekken-style combat where holding a direction will give you a different move than no direction, and Street Fighter-style quarter circle moves. Moving away from your opponent will block incoming attacks, and you also have a throw at your disposal. But be careful, depending on how you fight, you will fill either the Fate or the Fortune gauge. By playing offensively and filling the Fortune gauge up, you'll recover your health faster, deal more damage, and have access to counters. If you play more defensively, it'll fill up the Fate gauge, which once maxed out, it will affect how much damage you take and put you at risk of being doomed, which is a vulnerable state to be in. Fortune and Fate are both a part of the same gauge, so you won't be able to max out both. It's one or the other. As you take hits, your health gauge will deplete just like usual, but a portion of the health you lost will be white and recover over time. However, guarding lowers that white portion slightly, so you'll want to be strategic with how offensive or defensive you are playing based on the situation. There is also the usual fighting game affair with the modes that you have available. Versus is a pretty simple way to have one-on-one matches with your friends, or AI if you don't have any. You can also pit two computers against each other, which is pretty cool. You also have a practice arena to test out the different characters. Survival mode is also here with options on how many characters you want to fight until it's game over, and of course, arcade mode, where you'll fight through most of the roster before taking on the final boss, Talissa. What I really like is how at the beginning of arcade mode, you're given some insight to each character's story and their motivations. Finally, I need to mention the music. Like I said before, this game has an edgy gothic feel that would have been an instant buy for me back in the day when I listened to stuff like Korn and Disturbed non-stop. Wait, I still do that. Anyways, the soundtrack to this game is exactly what a metalhead like me loves to hear. It kind of reminds me of the Twisted Metal soundtracks that Rob Zombie would have helped out on, but given new life with modern downtunings, gen-style beats and tech being used, and that rip and tear riffing. If you close your eyes, you'll feel comfortably taken back to the land of early 2000s where industrial nu metal reigned supreme. Ah, the good old days. But that's all the pros that I have so far. Now it's time for the wrath of the cons! I'm just gonna jump into things with this one because I'm likely not going to play this game again after this review unless someone is over and they want to play it. And that's because there's really no reason to do so. I played through arcade mode about 4 or 5 times, played survival mode twice, and a bunch of versus mode matches with every character in the roster, and unfortunately I feel like I've experienced everything this game has to offer. Once you beat arcade mode, you'll unlock Talessa for use in other modes, and by completing it a second time, you'll do the same with Arctorius. Even though at the beginning of arcade mode you get to see some info on that character's story, that's the only instance of a story I've seen in this game. These stories even make mention to other characters in the roster, and it would have been nice to see them dive deeper into these relationships, even if it's just more text with some different artwork. I would have loved to see a format where we get this piece of text at the beginning of the story, then in the middle we could have had some more text about the match with their rival character, and have a quick intro to that fight, and maybe have the characters say 1 or 2 lines to each other. Then after you beat Talessa, you can get a text crawl with that character's victory info over top of some artwork. Oh yeah, you may have caught that last thing and been like, they don't do that already? No, in most arcade-style fighters, even in the good old days, we'd see something that says what that character did after winning. But you know what Omen of Sorrow gives you? This. It doesn't seem to matter who you play as or how well you do, I always got this ending, even when I played as Talessa. Well, maybe there are some unlockables for you. I mean, they do, but they don't really feel worth it. You only unlock titles and avatars for your online profile, as well as artwork for the gallery. The only characters you unlock are the ones that were originally just relegated to arcade mode. I would have loved to see them take 2 to 4 other characters and make them unlockable. Hell, the whole bottom row of characters could have been made unlockable. On top of that, having alternate outfits would have been a great addition to increase replay value. But there's only color swap costumes, and the only way to use those is if both players pick the same character. I couldn't find any other way to select the alternate color. I also feel like the camera is just a bit too far away. Zoom in, let me see the action. Let me see these character models. Finally, the last thing I'll mention is something that really disappointed me. I was so looking forward to this game. I knew it had already been released on PS4 and PC earlier, but until I get my hands on a game, I do my best not to look into anything. I saw little bits and pieces of Omen of Sorrow pop up in emails and social media. The final straw that I had to jump on this ship was seeing it in an East Asia Soft lineup video, announcing that it would be coming to Xbox One. I was so excited that I wiped the dust off of my Soul Calibur 6 arcade fight stick and started up some other fighting games just to get into the mood. But lo behold, Omen of Sorrow is not compatible with my fight stick. It was a sad realization that I would have to use a normal controller like some pleb and continue to contribute to my eventual development of arthritis. It was a sad day indeed, but there is good news. I have been told that this is being passed along to the dev team, so here's hoping that we will see this patched in the future. In the end, Omen of Sorrow was a bit of a mixed bag for me. Though I really enjoyed the gameplay, characters, and overall look of this game, there wasn't much it had to offer to keep me coming back. Like I said, I had been wanting to play this game for a while, and finally getting that opportunity has left me wanting more. But I see the potential that this IP has, and that's why Omen of Sorrow gets a thumbs up from me. This was really close to being a meh, but the overall fun I had with this game pushed it to that thumbs up. It may be fun to play this game with a friend and go at each other with the roster of characters, but without any unlockables or a deep story, I don't think I'll be playing too much of this by myself. That being said, this game has loads of potential. If there's an Omen of Sorrow 2 that includes unlockable characters and outfits, story aspects, and a larger character roster, you can bet your ass that I'll be there waiting to play it. The gameplay mechanics are absolutely solid, and as a debut game from an indie developer that has never released any other games, this is still an impressive display nonetheless. I really do hope we see a sequel in the future. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching my mini review of Omen of Sorrow. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and subscribe for more. Also, comment below with your thoughts on the game. If you'd like to help support this channel and what I do here, you can join the Guild, just like these awesome people that you're seeing on screen. Right now, you can join them at the end of every single video for just $1 a month. There's other rewards and other tiers as well, so check out the links that you see on screen, and I will see you all down in the comments.